Welcome to today's episode of the OutPower newscast. On today's newscast, we're going to talk about the 2020 NextStep events, an article on the OutSystems blog, check a how-to that explains how we can measure the performance of our application using a web API, and as usual, check what has been happening this week on the OutSystems community. Start planning for the NextStep events of 2020. The cities and dates have been announced, so be sure to block these on your calendar. OutSystems NextStep will be held in Amsterdam and Chicago at the following dates. You can find more information about NextStep at the following page. An article has been made available in the OutSystems blog. The blog post takes the opportunity to review the question, what is low code from the year 2020 perspective. It goes over what is low code and what we can achieve with it. Ultimately, it presents low code as a way for developers to get more stuff done. With it, we spend more time in creating and building and far less time in the repetitive work, this way making sure that we can get the MVP done in far less time than the competition. In case this sparks your interest, you can reach the blog post at the following link. Now let's talk about the Forge. In December, the 1 million unique downloads mark was hit. The Forge was launched in 2013, and ever since the number of applications that are downloaded, created and supported has increased every year. You can find the announcement for this achievement at the following link. A forum post for this achievement is also available. In there you can find other interesting stats, such as a leaderboard for contributors, downloads per category, etc. If you have interest in checking out this forum post, you can reach it on the link down below. Next, we'll talk about the hints and how-tos for this week. This week on Hints and How-Tos, we're going to cover a guide that will help us measure the performance of a page load on the client side. This is an article by community member William Antunes, where he explains how we can measure the performance of our application by using the Navigation Timing API from the Web APIs. This API provides a native JavaScript way to detect the browser's interactions and the ability to measure those interactions. If this is of your interest, you can read the full article at the following page. Let's jump over to our selection of deployments in the Forge. The following is our selection of components for this week's top picks of the Forge. And on our last segment, we're going to talk about this week's idea. This week's idea that has grasped some interest was the request to allow us to bulk edit the site properties. The main reason for this would be to maintain the consistency of data and to avoid the downtime of the application that would use these site properties. At the moment, we need to change the site properties one by one. Each setting opens a new window and saves it independently. On the situation where we use several site properties to establish a connection to an external system, as we are changing them one by one, we disrupt the communication between systems and the application stops working correctly. Data corruption at either end of the systems is also a possibility if we don't have a retry strategy or not handling the errors correctly. The suggestion for this idea is to be able to edit the site properties in bulk in one page. This way the site properties would be updated in one go, diminishing the error situations. This could be achieved in a similar way how the site properties are handled in the Azure web applications. The values are all hidden by default and you can edit the site properties in bulk or individually. Everything is saved by a save button that sets all the values in one sweep. To find out more, access this OutSystems Ideas page, which includes more details. And on that last bit of news, we wrap up today's newscast. Thank you very much for watching and please join us next time for more OutSystems news by OutPower. Have a good day.